Where is your son? What's up, guys? So I'm Platoon here, and here we are to do a breakdown and review for chapter 155 of Four Knights of the which is known as Back Together. And ladies and gentlemen, I hope Nakaba's okay. That's my main concern. I hope he's okay. Not even like at a malicious reason. The chapter's just short, like real short, like 12 pages. Like I hope he's all right. Cause darn, man, I know the man does everything by himself. It's why you'll hear me point out things that I find as mistakes or issues in terms of the artistic quality and stuff like that, or like failed to ink panels. But he does it all by himself, week by week. So like, I can't give him too much slack. Or no, I can give him way huge amounts of slack. I can't give him too much flack. But still, not gonna take them breaks if you need it, dog. But let's not waste any more time and let's hop right into it. Editing me. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go. What's up, guys? That guy with a pencil here. Fun fact, I do happen to have it on me and keep it on me at all times. Hey, another fun fact. We're back in Leonis. Now, admittedly, I'll go more in depth in my thoughts on Percy's revival, 1 in its own video, and 2 in the other 2 previous reviews I need to go back and do. But I'll still admit, I'll give Nakaba credit though. He waited a long time, like especially by Nakaba standards, waiting a whole 6 months to bring Percy back. Crazy house rush. For reference, Meliodas was gone for like 2 months. Like he was going for a blink. Like I swear he was going for like 1 miniature flashback arc in the original manga. Like he's not gone very long at all. I think he falls in like 178 and then is back by 181. Like the boy, and notably, he's not even like gone in the way that Percy was. We didn't really get a mention proper of Percy until well into the Nasiens arc, where we got to see a life spirit for the first time after a while. Meanwhile, Meliodas had like an intermediary chapter showing that he was alive and well, quote unquote, in purgatory, speaking with his dad. So I'll give Nakaba credit for his restraint on not bringing Percy back that fast, but I definitely did want to see a bit more of the world in its current state before we let back to Percy. Mainly for reasons like this. We open up and we get to see that Meliodas has called Anne and Donnie back to the castle for one particular reason. As Meliodas says, well, I called you over here for just one reason. I've got someone who wants to meet you. They want to meet us? Who could it be? So, here's the thing, right? With the confirmation that Donnie's okay, Anne's okay, Percy's okay, and Nasiens is okay, and I'm going to say the general lack of concern for Lancelot, because I highly doubt he got captured, and the seeming lack of Tristan, I'd have to assume that the person who's trapped in the Cauldron of Onflin right now is Tristan. I would have liked to see some proper reaction from his parents about that. Or at least proper reaction of his parents to Percival's return. Or something. Like, notably, Meliodas and Elizabeth. Don't get me wrong, I'm super happy to see them. And I'm extra happy that Nakaba gave up on that whack behind striped tie and gave him the traditional black to make the whole king fit look absolutely immaculate as it's supposed to. But that aside, my main thing here is that these two characters seem a little bit too yay about the whole scenario. I get why King and Diane were kind of just like, oh, is that our baby? Oh, that's our baby. And then proceeded to fawn over Nasiens for 2 years. That's their baby. And they had all of their other 7 babies with them for that entire 2-year time period. I get that. But unless I'm mistaken, Meliodas and Elizabeth don't know where their kid is. Or at least don't necessarily have a concrete idea of where he is, or at least if they do, that hasn't been mentioned. Once again, there's so much unknown about the world right now. Maybe I am tweaking. Maybe Tristan's not captured. Maybe he's just vibing somewhere, or hunting down something in Camelot. We just don't know. But just based on process of elimination, and the fact that Gawain has been mentioned as someone who could give magical carrots to Sylvan instead of anybody else, it would seem to me at least that Gawain's fine, Percy's fine, Lance will likely be fine, the rest of the Percival platoon is fine, and Isolde, Kion haven't necessarily been mentioned, nor would they be important enough for Anne and Don to be looking for, or risking their lives to get into the Cauldron of Onflin. It seems like it's Tristan. by process of elimination. But Meliodas and Elizabeth seem horrifically calm. Kind of uninteresting. I wish we could have gotten to see a bit of them stressed. Once again, they were in a weird situation. One of the 4 knights had perished. That's a big bad news, considering they weren't prophesied to save the world. One of the 4 knights was. So it would have been interesting to see some of their reactions post time skip and stuff like that. Interested to see their opinion on the current state of the world. There's so much that could have been done in that period where Percy was gone, that 2-year time skip, and there's so much that obviously has been done off screen that probably explains the more laissez-faire, relaxed mindsets. But I wish we got to see some of that. That's one of the beauty of time skips, trying to figure out how the world is before the reintroduction of the main character. Especially if the time skip is predicated on a main character dying. But, like, and notably, I'm trying to think of, like, good, proper time skips that do something like this. A big one that comes to mind is the Attack on Titan time skip. The spoilers, but there's, like, a whole separate cast established in the time period of a major time skip for Attack on Titan. And I'm not sure if it's more or less. I forget the exact details, how many years it is in the time skip, but it's another multi-year time skip, just like 4 Knights, where Isayama goes out of their way to establish and explain an entire state of the world, establishing a whole new set of characters on top of our old ones, which really makes us excited to see the old ones again and stuff like that. Like, that's a good way to use your time skip. And while Nakaba definitely has used their time skip in an interesting way, it's interesting to see Donnie and Anne's development, seeing Pelgar's development, seeing my baby boy Nasiens. Well, my baby child Nasiens' development. Like, it's all good to see that, but still, I don't know, man. I don't know. I wish we just had a bit more time. It didn't have to be much. Just give me a chapter each of letting us know where everyone is. Because now it's just going to be, oh, Percy's back. Oh, Percy's back. Oh, Percy's back. I guess we continue the plot. Where before it could have been like, looking bleak, we need Percy. It's looking bleak, we need Percy. But now that Percy's back, everyone's all smiles. And that's a little, but of course, enough of me whining. We see that the doors open, and they see Nasiens blowing in the wind. Nasiens, is that you? I'm glad you're both doing well. Dang! It's been ages. Finally back from the fairy realm? Did you come to visit us? Yes, but it's not only me exactly. Oh? Look at that boy. Look at that boy back there. And that boy right here. Nasiens gestures and reveals. No way. Elizabeth and Meliodas smile, and they see the Drip Lord himself, Percival. I need to go back and review it. I'll talk more in depth about his fit there. But if I had to give the fit a rating, it's a solid 6? I'll go with 6. It's a solid 6. Maybe 6.5. I don't want to say 7. Yeah, I'm not going to say 7. It's a solid 6.5 kind of fit. It's nothing too crazy. It's nothing like having my brain blast or anything like that. But it's not an insult fit. It's not a sweet mother of mercy Nakaba, what were you thinking fit. It's not the final fit Percy got before the time skip fit, where nothing matched. And once again, I'll have to wait and see. Maybe the colors are just going to ruin this for me, and then I'll like always see the colors, even with the manga being in black and white, and I'll be haunted for the rest of my days. But until that point, the fit's a calm little fit. I do kind of want to see him get the helmet back, but I understand why he wouldn't get that back. And also, I do hope this isn't his fit that's going to last forever. I hope he actually gets like a retailer just a little bit. But if I have to stick with the fit for a while, I'll take this one. I'll take it. It's not, once again, it's not an affront to my eyes, like some previous fits have been in the Four Knights duology. So, on a scale of, oh, sweet mother of mercy, it's horrifying, to, oh, okay. I'll take the, oh, it's okay. But we see that Percy announces, and Donnie, I'm back. And we see the duo go through all the stages of shock. Both just being bamboozled, both immediately checking to make sure they're both seeing and hearing the same thing, and realizing, oh, sweet mother of mercy, he's tall. He's really tall. Oh, he's buff. He's really buff. His voice, it's deep. It's really deep. And starting to feel some type of way, and Donnie's like, that's my boy. That's the boy I almost robbed. Oh, he's so big. And whoa, not like that. But we see Anne start to dive into negativity, Well, Donnie, he just can't hold it. This is one of the most emotional faces we've seen from the character in the entire manga. And he just tackles Percy into a hug. Oh, man! You total piece of garbage! You made me worry so much, man! I'm crying tears out here. You don't go, man, don't cry. Something like that. Oh, my word, why you gotta do this to me, Percy? I trusted you, and you just let me man, Percy. And I love it. I love it. You know, Donnie, a character who, once again, if you were to go back in time and ask me, like, early Four Knights days, a character who I was convinced I wasn't gonna like, honestly, that's the beauty of having all my Four Knights reviews being coherent as the release date. You can hear my feelings about the early characters if you go back there. But Donnie, man, one of my favorite. Hauser done right. If I had to just be blatant and honest with it, it's down to them having literally the exact same design, just Donnie with darker hair. Hauser done right. Beautiful, fantastic. But we see that Donnie asked the important questions. Was like, wait, since when did you wake up, huh? And Percy's like, oh, well, actually wasn't too long ago, if I'm being real with you. And we see that Percy's like, but hey, Donners, did you shrink, broski? Because you're looking kind of small. But we see that Donnie's like, nah, dude, you just finally got your height up. No longer make it. And we see that Donnie's like, well, actually, you know, I've been hitting the Camelot gym a little bit. And we see that Percy's like, oh, wow, you're right. And Donnie, once again, wiped their tears and was like, yeah, you can tell, can't you? This big, bulging, muscular, oh, my shoulders are popping out the shirt. Ah. And Percy says, oh, yeah, that shaved off bit is gone. And then Donnie's like, you idiot, you did that to me. And we see that while Percy's having a good old laugh, being reunited with the Donners, Nasiens notices that Anne is a little, teeny tiny bit nettled. And Nasiens asks, Engelhard, aren't you going to see him? And Anne is like, sorry. Correct me if I'm tweaking, but you left us so casually. And now it's all, hi, I'm back. I demand an apology. Do you have any idea how it felt for us carrying you back 2 years ago? Maybe, depending on what he reveals later. But we see that Donnie's like, whoa, Anne. Even though I know he definitely legitimately betrayed us and all the trust and all the times we risked our lives with him, but chill out, home slice. It's not that deep. We see that Percy walks up and Anne looks up at him. And when she looked at him, oh, it was way too late. As Percy pulls her into a hug. All right, Anne. I'm sorry. And we can see Anne, she was trying to resist it. That muscular, loving embrace from the big hope boy himself is got her feeling some type of way. And then we see Nasiens smile to themselves in resignation as they know, yes, wonderful. I have no chance at all, do I? Yeah. Once again, Nasiens, you know what? Crazy thing is, crazy thing is, Anne may be the first wife, but unless Percival keeps restoring her youth, Percival's basically immortal for all intents and purposes, right? Like, he can allow himself to be. Nasien's gonna live a long time, Percy. They're like hybrid. They'll live for a minute unless my premonitions from before kick in and they end up getting got. So, Percy, I don't know about you. I don't know about you. Maybe you gotta pick economically, bro, in the long term. And may not last that long. Okay, I'm sorry, that's so dark. But we see that even Elizabeth and Meliodas are like, oh yeah, they the main couple. And we see Percy apologizes and says, sorry to you too, Donnie. Didn't mean to dip on you like that, broski. And Donnie's like, dude, broski, forget about it. I ain't mad anyway. Which is crazy. But still, we see that Percy asks, can you forgive me too, Anne? Please. I need someone to sit on it. And I just can't trust Nasiens yet. They don't have any holes. I'd apologize, but just like Percy, I'm not actually sorry. But let's see. We see that Anne's still blushing as she's being held and patted by Percival's like, no, all right. It's not going to be that easy with me. It is, in fact, that easy. The muscles did all the work. And we see that Donnie's like, wow, you really are such a pain. And Nasiens is like, dude, don't say that out loud, please, even if you're 100% right. And we see that Percy's like, yeah, whatever. But moving on, there's something I want to show you two. Percy doesn't actually feel sorry. And you know what? Once again, I do think we're going to find out that Percy, while still being Percy, isn't fully Percy. Once again, just because of his sudden shift in mortality, or his views on mortality, where he went from, no, I can't take people's lives, to, oh wow, you survived that? I meant to rip out every last drop of life from you. You should be dead. Like considering that shift, I'm assuming a lot of his more blasé nature can't just be chalked up to the fact that he was raised isolated on a mountain for years, but also because I think he kind of just sees the world a bit differently now. Like, a real bit differently now. Like, I'm not sure how much of Percy is Percy. Once again, that time skip, it'll change a man. But once again, we'll see. We'll do our little dancey dance, you know what I'm saying? We'll do our little dancey dance. But with it being the case, we see that even Donnie's like, whoa, wait, we're moving on already? Like, I know I gave you the pass and all, but like, I didn't give you that much of a pass. Like, what's going on? And we see that Anne even asks, are you really sorry at all? No, he isn't. He couldn't care less. Level with us real quick. Like, y'all know this. And we see that Percy doesn't even grace them with a response. And he's like, hey, come on, you gotta show him. And I do love how he shrinks back down to chippy self. And we see that Donnie's like, dude, what are you gonna show us, huh? And Anne is just demanding that Percy just be a tiny bit more sorry, as Nasiens flexes on them real quick and reveals that they can fly. And that is really, really nice. I do like that Nasiens now is full free for flight. Once again, just like a fairy. And we see that both Donnie and Anne realize that, oh no, we may be getting cliffed. We're going to get cliffed even harder now. No, we're the only pure humans left. And we see that even Elizabeth and Meliodas are shocked. Like, goodness, my. Why were they feeding you over there in that forest? Can Tristan get some of it? And we see that Nasiens lands down. And they ask, how did you do that? And then Percy explains, guess what? It turns out Nasiens has the Fairy King for a dad and the Queen of the Giant Clan for a mom. And that confuses them even more. And Meliodas goes on to say, wait a minute. Hold on. So you were the swapped out one? You were swapped out for the changeling 18 years ago? That was such a huge fur. Hold on. I'm still not saying it right. Wait a minute. Oh no, the volume's all the way down. Hold on.
Furor.
An outbreak of public anger or excitement. A wave of enthusiastic admiration, a craze. So, there was such a huge furor. Diane was beside herself with grief. Presumably it goes in outbreak of public anger. Because, yeah, I'd assume so. Diane probably was tweaking and geeking. I do wish we got to see some of that. I would have loved for some more flashbacks in the Giant Clan arc, but we'll take what we can get. And we do like... I'm speaking... We do like this. Don't we, my people? No, but I do like how Nasiens is like, Mother was... Oh, I didn't know that. He's fully acknowledged, like, yeah, that's Mom. And that's Dad. That's Pop. That's Mom and Pop. I love that. Even when they're not there, he's like... They're like, oh, yeah. Those are my peoples. And we see that Elizabeth is like, that's great. I'm sure they were both so happy. Thank you very much. That is sweet. Once again, I'm so sad that Elizabeth and Diane and Gelda and Seldris haven't really been allowed to do much of anything. But, and while I hate to say, I do kind of sense the first time we're going to see Elizabeth do anything, it's going to be her jobbing or dying. Like, once again, I feel like that's the main thing we're going to get. I'll take whatever characterization I can get. Not going to be like, he's starved, he's a what's this? I'll eat the scraps off the floor, gosh darn it. But with it being the case, we see that Meliodas asks, but how are King and Diane doing? Well, I hope. once again showing that, man, maybe that alternate future that Cass showed wasn't wrong. Like, notably, if you remember back at the end of Seven Deadly Sins, when Cass showed the alternate futures, apparently the sins drifted apart. Like, horridly. Like, didn't stay in contact much or nothing. And it looks like that's the same case here. Because, like, they just don't know how Kane are doing. And I get it. It's probably, like, a bit of a decent trick. But, like, y'all can cross the continent in seconds. Like, all of y'all can fly. And the one who can't can be carried, in the case of Diane. And the other one who can't, in the case of Bond, is just really, really fast. He can leap half Britannia if he really wanted to. So, like, I am shocked that this group is not really maintaining consistent connection, especially since some of them are just wandering around like Bond. But with it being the case, we see that Percival explains, well, actually, we had some big trouble. I'm sorry, Percival's voice is going to keep shifting back and forth between like his younger iteration and his current iteration, because I'm so not used to doing current Percival. But let's see. Actually, we had some big trouble. Worldane, part of Arthur's four evils, tried to steal the Droga d'Or. We teamed up with the Fairy King to defeat her, but she made off with it in the end, which is still so crazy. How did y'all fumble that bag so badly? How? But with it being the case, we see that Meliodas is like, oh. And Elizabeth is like, ... What's the Droga d'Or? I think King actually used it on you, Elizabeth, but it didn't work. Which shows its efficacy. It's kind of whack. But we see that Donnie's like, the four evils. Is that the Beltreep guy we fought back too? And we see Percival ask, oh, you mean that guy who hurt Gotha real bad? And then Donnie asked the exact same question I asked. Huh? Why do you know about that? Why does he? I don't know. What were you doing those 2 years? Were you stalking? Is that why you don't feel bad? Were you really there the entire time, bro? Like, is that why you have no guilt at all? Because you were kind of just chilling with them the entire time, even if they couldn't sense you or perceive you? It's a little creepy, Percival. It's a little creepy. But with it being the case, we see that both Meliodas and Elizabeth have flashbacks as they say, Worldane. I've heard that name somewhere. And Elizabeth places it. Oh, right. Merlin mentioned her long, long ago. Oh. So yeah, Merlin. I mean, once again, maybe me and the entire rest of the community is tweaking, but she's definitely a survivor of Belialowin. Possibly another immortal survivor. Maybe she used the time stop spell on herself. Maybe Merlin used the time stop spell on her. But one way or another, she's another immortal survivor of Belialowin. Like, come on now. Because they say long ago. And remember, long ago for both of these characters who are mentally... Elizabeth, with all her combined ages, and Meliodas physically, is well over 3,000 years old. So if they're saying it's long ago, and just based on how frequently they interacted with Merlin, which is very infrequently, shockingly enough, yeah, Worldane's ancient, which I'm fine with. I'm down with. I'm down to have more survivors of Belialowin, more of the ancient creatures. I love the history of Seven Deadly Sins. Honestly, sometimes more than the modern plot. A lot has more than the modern plot. I love Galen. But with it being the case, we see that Meliodas is like, whatever. Never mind that. We'll talk more tomorrow, alright? And then we see a shot of the moon. Hopefully we're getting a perspective shift to somewhere else, seeing the same moon. But that's it. End of the chapter. Once again, very, very short. Simple, sweet, to the point, but I'll still give it a designated worthy. Once again, the chapter, while it is short, it does give us the reunion. It gives us a tiny bit of character conflict, and I always appreciate any bit of character conflict I can get, especially from a cast and crew as lighthearted as the Percival Platoon. I like the reveal that Nasiens, or the reveal that Nasiens gets that they can fly and show off their new powers, and the revelation that they are the changeling to not just the Percy Platoon, but to Meliodas and Elizabeth, who are both happy to hear that Diane's whole scenario was resolved. And ultimately, I'm happy to just see Meliodas and Elizabeth. Once again, I'll admit, it's the old series bias in me, and the want to see them more, but still, I love those two characters. They define a big part of me, the channel, and stuff like that, so I'm always happy to see them. So Nakaba did not fun with the chapter at all. I hope they take the rest and get the relaxation they deserve and need in order to recover and take care of themselves properly. And overall, I'm excited for the next chapter. But, of course, if you made it all the way to the end of this video, please do me a favor and leave way no. Instead of no way, way no. in the comment section down below. I'd like to thank you so much for watching. Please remember to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe, and make sure that notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do have a Patreon down below where you can support me for as low as $1 a month, things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month and get the same perks and more. Some of those perks will include the live reaction to this very chapter, which is about 18 minutes long, ad-free variations of all my videos, and if you become a $25 Patreon, $25 member, you can order whatever video you want. Also, I do have a link to my Ko-Fi in the description down below where you can drop 5 beans for a short video, 25 beans for a long video, or any beans at all. Any support is always greatly appreciated. Now, I'd like to thank you so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with a Pencil, writing off. I'd like to thank you to our $3 members, Zena, Greyhound, Astro, Eternal Flame, NMA, Real Rare, G Prosper, Red Wolf 4765, and Paris Arnold. I'd like to give another big ol' thank you to our $5 patrons, Sean, Sammy, Midnight Lord 21, Kevin and Nasiens, Josh Brown, and A+A. And I'd like to give a great big thank you to our $7 members, Autumn Mornings Lazo, Fine, and That Guy. And I'd like to give a great big thank you to our $10 members, Robbie Uchiha, J Warrior, and Akid's Void. And I'd like to give big, hefty, juicy thank yous to our $10 patrons, Panda Goat, Michael Williamson, Metal Solid Crisis, Joaquin Munoz, and Idem Okami. And I'd like to give the biggest, juiciest, meatiest, sloppiest, and heftiest thank you of them all to our $25 patron, Calvin Elder.